What is up, social media world? Putting here with you, and today I'm not going to be discussing a specific type of whiskey, but I am going to be discussing something that has to do with all whiskey. And what I'm talking about is whether or not a whiskey is a chill filtered or a non-chill filtered whiskey. So, depending on how you drink your whiskey, whether you add ice to the whiskey, you drink it neat, or add a little bit of water to your whiskey. Sometimes what you will see is that a whiskey becomes cloudy when you have added ice or water to it. I'm going to explain a little bit about that because I've seen this come up in some discussions on other pages and figured I would try to do my best to help you guys understand what is going on with the chemical compound of a whiskey when you add water or ice, the ice melting and turning to water, and the whiskey becoming cloudy, so that you can better understand, what you're drinking. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got just a few different whiskeys with me right here. I've got some Basil Hayden. I've got some Talisker single malt Scotch whiskey. Also got some Ardbeg. So what I'm going to show you guys, and hopefully it'll show up in the light, is what happens when you add the water to it, and why this all happens. So right off the bat here, what I've got, the glass I have poured currently is Basil Hayden. Now, and I want to show you guys, you can see that it is fairly clear, okay? This is pretty clear as far as the whiskey goes. Now, Basil Hayden is a chill filter. So, when I add some water to this, which I rarely ever do, actually, just so you know, I rarely add water to it. But, just to show you guys what happens when you do add water. Add the water, let it settle a little bit. We still have a very, very clear whiskey. Now, can't hold a glass of whiskey without getting a little sip. But, so what we also have is another Scotch that is also chill filtered. But, what I do have also is a Scotch that is non-chill filtered. This is Ardbeg. It's a Isla Scotch, Isla single malt Scotch, non-chill filtered. Okay. Now Ardbeg, I love non-chill filtered whiskeys because there are some flavors that to me seem more natural. Now the flavor change of a non-chill filtered compared to a chill filtered whiskey, that is still up for debate amongst people that like to do the whiskey tasting. So whether or not you pick up on different flavors is kind of to each his own. Now me personally, it seems that a non-chill filtered, there are some more natural flavors involved. Okay, so to explain a little bit also about the process. So when you have a whiskey that is lower than usually 46% by volume, then if it is not chill filtered, then you will get a few of the things such as a little bit of the sediment from the barrel. You'll also get some of the fatty acid and protein in the whiskey, in the final product, that do not get filtered out. When you cool a whiskey down close to, not necessarily freezing point, but below a certain degrees, and you filter it, some of those chemical compounds will stick together better. Some of your fatty acid and your protein and even the sediment from within the barrel will clump together and actually be filtered out. So that is where some people claim that you get some more natural flavors with a non-chill filter because of some of the stuff that clumps together and becomes filtered out. Whether or not you yourself can taste a difference, that's, like I said, that's up for debate on, among different whiskey connoisseurs. Me, myself, I do prefer a non-chill filter because I do think that I get a little bit more of the more natural, earthier flavors from a non-chill filter than I would a chill filter. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Now, like I said, this is a Ardbeg, it's Isle of Scotch, and this one is, of course, it's bottled in Scotland. I was trying to see if it actually gave the Isle of, don't give the exact location on there, but either way. All right, so I'm going to show you guys what happens. Pour a little bit in here. Now, with this is before adding, okay, and you can see it's actually fairly clear, okay? Now, here's what's going to happen. When I add the water to it, some of your chemical compounds are going to break down. I probably added a little bit more than I should have. But right off the bat, and we'll give it just a minute here, and I'll show you guys. And you seen just a minute ago, and now, if the light will show up, we're definitely a little bit more cloudy than we were, okay? And you can see just a little bit more of that sediment and probably the compound, the fatty acid compound, things of that nature, breaking down, coming back out. Now, to me, what does this mean? Whether or not it's, I don't think there's anything that's any less, healthy about it or anything of that nature. It's just a matter of, how do you want your whiskey to look? I think it's a preference. So the funny thing is, when it comes to most Scotch, the majority of Scotches are usually a non-chill filtered whiskey. Whereas in the U.S., the majority of your U.S. whiskeys are chill filtered. So I think, and just to give you a comparison here, then you can kind of see a little bit better that this one being the non-chill, after I added the water to it, a little bit cloudier, and this one, of course, it is darker. The age is going to be different, but still, you can see the clear, like how much clearer you can see right through that whiskey compared to this one after I added the water. Both of these have had water added to them, so even with the water added to both of them, you can see that this one got cloudy. Now, like I said, does not necessarily mean that anything is any better for you or worse for you. It's just that some people do like the mouth feel of a non-chill filter compared to a chill filter. Some people, like myself, I do think that and prefer it because of some of the natural aspects that feel, it just seems like I can always taste a little bit more of the natural flavors in a whiskey than I can with a chill filtered, okay? Like I said, I mean, whether it be the protein, the fatty acids, or even the sediment from the barrels, and some of that, it just, it just seems like I can taste more natural, earthy flavors from a non-chill filtered than I can the chill filtered, because even with this one, smells and stuff's not really going to change there. It's all going to be in the flavor and maybe in the feel itself of the whiskey. This one, the feel is, to me, the non-chill filtered, you get a little bit more of a velvety kind of mouth feel to it compared to one that has been chill filtered. So, and like I said, that's all going to be in the chemical compound of it. But guys, like I say, whether or not you like your whiskey to look clear, you know, and sparkling after you've added water or ice to it, or whether or not you like it, you know, you don't really care if it has a cloudiness to it after you've added water or ice. That's totally, it's a lot of it is personal preference. One other note is that I will say is sometimes a very, very, very high proof whiskey, stuff that is like cask strength, even though it is chill filtered, that high of a proof sometimes will also get a cloudiness to it when you add the ice or a little bit of water to it. So it's just so you don't get confused. If you get something that's cask strength and you add a little bit of water or ice to it, something in the 120 range, I mean, it's probably still going to get just a little bit of cloudiness to it. Whereas anything that is, you know, in your 90 proof and below, you know, if you're hitting 90 proof and below and you add water and it gets cloudy, then it's probably a non-chill filter. So just wanted to try to explain a little bit about that. Like I said, I've seen this come up in a few different discussions and topics, and figured I would kind of touch on the subject and get your all's take on it. So, you know, if you like a non-chill filtered whiskey, probably going to be a Scotch, but there are a few American whiskeys that make theirs non-chill filtered. Majority of them in America, you know, in the U.S., they do chill filter their whiskey. They wanted to have a clear, sparkling look to it, even when ice is added. But if that does not bother you at all, then by all means try some Scotch out. You know, see what I'm talking about. Add your water to it, and you know you'll get to see exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to that cloudiness. But you know, let me know. What do you think? Do you like the non-chill filter? Does it bother you that it gets cloudy? Are you able to taste differences in a non-chill filtered compared to a chill filtered? You know, that's up for debate. So let me know in the comments, and always, you know, hit that like and subscribe button if this is the type of content that you like. And I will always be trying to add new content to the page, whether it be my regular shenanigans or discussion on some new type of whiskey or whatever. So hope you guys enjoy that. Again, putting here with you. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace out.